Good evening. My name is Nick Sturgeon, President of the Speedway Town Council. It's October 27th, 2025 at 7:01, and I call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Continuing on, we'll do introductions. To my far right is Town Manager Grant Kleinheinz.
Good evening.
Next to him is Councilor Sarah Gardner.
Good evening.
Next to her is Councilor Sean Harold.
Good evening.
To my far left is Town Attorney Ted Nolting.
Good evening.
Next to him is Town Clerk Treasurer Philip Faust.
Good evening.
Next to him is Councilor Vince Noblett.
Good evening.
And to my immediate left is Council Vice President Jason Delisle.
Good evening.
All right. Item number 2, approval of minutes of the October 8th, 2025 special meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Any comments, questions, discussion? If not, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0.
If I might interrupt, I did send the email to the council today about the no parking. So if it's appropriate, it's probably appropriate to amend that agenda and add that item for your consideration.
Right.
If we don't want to, that's fine. I just wanted to remind everyone.
Right. I'll go ahead and see if there is a motion on the floor about adding an agenda item for the no parking on 25th Street for October 31st from 5 to 9 p.m.
On Meadowwood Drive.
On Meadowwood
Yes.
Drive.
Due to 25th Street.
Yes, due to 25th Street.
So that's just so I'm clear, that's amending our agenda to add
Yes,
that
to
additional
add that
item
as
for
an item.
today.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I'll make the motion to amend the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any comments, questions, discussion about adding this to the agenda for tonight? And if so, we'll probably just add it right before the claims and utility adjustments, if that works. All right, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 5-0. Okay, now moving on to item 3, special event request for the 2025 Veterans Day Parade presented by Speedway Schools and our very own junior high principal, Rick Roseborough.
Well, good evening, and I am Rick Roseborough, principal at the junior high, and I'm representing also Jason Brooks, who's principal at Fisher Elementary, because it's a combined effort for what we're asking for tonight, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you about actually asking for approval for a Veterans Day Parade. 2 years ago, we opted to try a parade around our schools to honor our veterans, and we received many positive comments from participants and veterans. And so we wanted to try it again this year. Many of the veterans were elderly. They appreciated being able to remain in their cars in case it was bad weather, and enjoyed seeing the students line the sidewalks waving flags and hear the band play. So with that, I think we have a video clip.
Well, we'll take a turn. In other news, students in Speedway rallied together today to show their support for local veterans.
The school district planned a whole series of events thanking veterans for their service. Our Angelica Robinson was there.
Honoring heroes. Flags, signs, cheers. The kids from Speedway schools saying thank you.
It was a little overwhelming.
It's hard for Officer Jeremy Howard to put into words.
In today's world.
Yeah.
The uncertainty.
Howard works for the Speedway Police Department. He's also a school resource officer and a veteran.
See these kids out with the flag. It's awesome. It was very, very, very moving.
About 25 veterans from all different branches of the military rode in the parade, met with an enthusiasm from this group of young people that they could have never imagined.
You know, it means the world because there's a lot of times you think kids don't understand.
But Sean Matthew learned they do understand. The principal at Speedway Junior High says they make it a priority to teach students about the sacrifice.
We just really want to stress to our kids the importance of remembering those heroes and those ones that are still serving, the ones that did serve.
It just hits you in the heart, you know.
The veterans are humbled by the show of support for the men and women who put their lives on the line.
We have to protect our country. We have to love America. God bless USA.
Serving our country to protect generations to come. Reporting in Speedway, Angelica Robinson, 13 News.
See a little glimpse of how we organized that, but I'll kind of sum it up for you real quick here. We were going to have a staging area for the participants, which is behind the junior high, and a blacktop area. They usually play kickball back there. We'll start that around 9 in the morning is the plan, and then begin the parade about 9:30. Our student council will be providing coffee and breakfast pastries to the veterans as they wait in their cars. I have them trays, and they're going to take them coffee and donuts and whatever they want to drink while they're waiting. The parade would begin on Allison Avenue, would turn east on 14th Street, proceed in front of the school. At Winton, they would then turn south, proceed to 13th Street. They would turn, getting all these directions right, head west, and they would proceed to 13th Street to Allison Avenue. Basically, we're making a loop around the junior high and Fisher building, and we do that twice. Our resource officer, Jeremy Howery's agreed to oversee the project and supervise the event with our help, obviously. Approximately 500 students and faculty would be attending, with Fisher Elementary obviously being a big part of that too. And the idea is, you could see, we line the sidewalks. We've get flags for the kids, and so they can wave them. And we have our art students doing posters for the veterans. And also, a big hit is our band will be playing on the front porch, so that's kind of cool to hear the band out there. We also asked the students to dress in red, white, and blue that day. Like I said, Fisher Elementary will be also making posters. The art department will be making posters, so we appreciate your consideration for approval.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any comments, questions, or discussion?
Yeah. Oh, this is.
Yeah, Rick, my question, sorry, is just how would a veteran sign up? What's the process
What we
for
did, actually today, well actually last Friday, the junior high, we splashed it out on our parent square, and I explaining it, and then I attached like a sign-up thing they could download if they wanted. But then I thought, you know, I probably would mess that up, so I need a hard copy. So today I had my secretary, she had copies in every mailbox, and our 7th period teachers handed hard copies actually to the kids. And so we're getting it out that way, and Fisher's doing the same thing, and then it's just a half a sheet they can fill out and just turn in, and then we're going to make signs. We want to get it ahead of time so we could get the names on the side of the cars as they went by. So it's out there now. So if it doesn't get approved, I got ask for.
Bring it back.
Sorry, I was just kidding. So yeah, that's how we're going to try to get it out. And then we invite the community. I mean, too, if it somehow can get out, anybody. I mean, their community members showed up.
Yeah.
It was fortunate. It was a nice day, and even Opportunity Day kids came across, and so it's kind of a neat thing. It takes about a half an hour, and the veterans really enjoy it. That's what it's all about, the veterans, and I think they enjoyed it. So as you can see, some of them were interviewed. So
yeah,
This is a fantastic thing that goes on. I mean, really getting the kids to understand the sacrifice that these gentlemen did. You know, your father being one.
absolutely, yeah.
You might tell Grant, you know, about your dad that was, as a veteran.
Yep.
He was landed on Omaha Beach.
Yep. Yeah. How they did it, different generation.
Yeah.
Different generation.
Okay.
Yeah, we usually do an announcement in the morning about the Veterans Day and reinforce that with the kids before we get them all out there, so they know what's going on. But it's just.
Oh, yeah.
It's really neat. So, and you know, we've done programs in the past in the gym, and you know, those are good too. But we thought this might be a change. They might like it, but keep our fingers crossed the weather's good, because that makes it a lot better.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Mr. Roseborough, I think all of this sounds absolutely great. It's a great event. I know my kids have gotten to participate at the preschool, I think, comes over sometimes too,
yep.
right? So I'm really excited for it. The only question I have, Cheryl, are there typically any fees or anything that we would, because I know typically we'd like to waive those, so should that be part of our proposal, or our motion as well?
Yeah, we're not closing any streets. It's just the Officer Howery kind of blocks it off as we go along. So there's no fees for that, really, for the right-of-way.
Great.
The only fee would be because we are using this police department services of Officer Howery, helping out. So really, there's really nothing to waive unless we would take those fees into account.
Him being the school resource officer.
Perfect. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure if there were any that we could
Unclear on that
take
part
care
of
of
it,
that for
but
you.
no, I don't think we have to do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions, discussion? All right, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving this special events request, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. All right.
You wave your flag. Come on out, guys. 9:30, we'll get started, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, item number 4, approval of quote from National Water Services for the rehabilitation of well number 10 grant.
Yes, so if you remember, earlier this year, you approved a proposal with National Water Services to do a rehabilitation of well number 10. We did that over the past 6 months. It was found after that was done, and what that included was cleaning, replacing some of the parts. They even repaired the casing of the well itself. When they did the test, it improved significantly, registered 55.5 gallons per minute. This well used to create 200 gallons per minute. It was one of our better producing wells. We're not getting the results that we wanted, so the next step that we are asking to be done, and before you tonight is their proposal, to do what is called an HVI treatment, high velocity injection. What they do is they put acid and water into the well itself to try to rejuvenate it. I don't know the hydrology of it, but that's what they do. That service would cost $13,153. They will test and then test again, and we hope to see this jump significantly. The 55.5 gallons is not good. So we're asking for you to approve this tonight, and you will notice that Ronnie signed this, but I had already told him, hey, we're going to have it to the council, so we held off on that. So we can use his signature. If the council approves it, we'll just hand that on to NWS. I'll answer any questions you might have.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
A second.
My only question is, how certain are we, or are they, that this will actually remediate the issue?
You can't give a certainty. The well and the water table and everything, the reservoir there, it's something we can't control. This is money well spent on our end to try to, the development of a new well costs anywhere from $150,000 to $350,000, plus you got to find property, you've got to acquire property. If we can put 13 grand in this to try and hopefully improve it, it's well worth that investment.
So,
and this is one of multiple wells that we have.
So I guess you kind of answered another question I had as you were talking, but I kind of parallel to that with the test digs that we've been doing on the junior high property. I mean, what if we can't get this well back to where it needs to be? Is that something that, the work that we've been doing with these tests on the junior high, how would that kind of factor in?
Well, we're always looking for that next well, only because sometimes wells go bad. It's just the way it is. If we can't get this back to another level, we're still pursuing, trying to figure out if those wells work on the junior high property. The initial results is that they're probably not going to create the water that we need, but they're doing some more testing, trying to ascertain that. Once again, to put that investment in and not get a certain amount of gallons per minute, it's just not worth the investment. 55 is very low. Now, 55 gallons a minute is better than 0 gallons per minute, but we need to do this next step to try and hopefully rejuvenate that and get back somewhere to where we what we were producing before. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Grant, do you know how old this well is?
It's probably well over 50 years. Most of our wells were developed in the 60s and 70s.
time.
Yeah. I mean, we had a couple wells before that, but
Okay.
as the town continued to grow and our industry continued to grow, we needed more and more. And you got to remember, we did not have an agreement on Eagle Creek to draw the water that we do now have the ability to do over the last 15 years. That's been a huge boon to us. But it's still more economical to have multiple sources than to run out of water and have to buy it from citizens.
Right.
So,
Any other comments, questions, discussion? All right, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, item 5, resolution number 2025-14, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Speedway, Indiana, authorizing a special purchase of a Vector truck for the Speedway Street Department. Grant.
yes, so if you remember, this item was on the agenda earlier this month, and we decided to table that, so we are now bringing it back in its final form. Ted, working with Philip, has put this resolution together. What in essence it does is try to build the case as to why we would go with this manufacturer and this model and not necessarily do a normal traditional bid. We are using Sourcewell, so that is referenced here in this resolution. Sourcewell is a consortium of buying that all municipalities can gain access to. So we are proposing to buy a $513,651.19 Vector truck. I will note, Philip, that this resolution says $1,680,000. I think this was used for the fire truck, so we just need to change that language. I was not here on Friday. I didn't review the packet, so we will get a $60,000 trade-in value as well for our older unit that we've had for 20 years. Jason, in the first whereas, or second whereas, it says $1,600,000. It's written in the paragraph there, $513,651.
I got you.
But all of that is then kind of discussed here, that it's resolved that we accept that reasoning as to why we're buying from a sole source provider in Sourcewell, and we're asking the council to approve the purchase of this equipment. We get anywhere from 15 to 20 years from this Vector truck. It is used to maintain our sewer and our stormwater lines. It says street department, they're the one that operate it and house it, but it's really a wastewater. This will be paid for from the wastewater fund.
Make a motion to approve.
A second.
All right, any comments, questions, discussions?
All I know is, there's twice as much sewer line out there as there is stormwater, but stormwater, every inlet coming into our sewer system has a catch basin. That's what this truck is used for, to pull that out. And then on top of it, we've got several underground facilities in which it has catch basins in that at 20th Street that pulls off all the storm water from that end of it. And it's a critical piece of machinery that, this town uses.
You'd be surprised what ends up in our wastewater and our stormwater system. So people flush everything, and that gets hung up in the lines, and we have to remove that. Roots grow in the line. This ends up, it has a cutting head from time to time, and we cut those roots. It's a piece of equipment that helps us maintain our system and make it so we don't have issues. If we didn't do anything to the system, we would have issues over time.
A lot of the outflows too from Allison's, we go over there and clear out all those outflows coming off of their parking lots. Same thing with IMS.
Okay. Anything else? All right, hearing none. I guess before I go, anything that needs to be added about the correction before?
I would just say as.
Oh, yeah, as amended.
As amended. All right. Get my train of thought here.
Want to do a new motion?
Yeah, let's do a new.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-14 as amended.
I'll second.
All right. Any other comments, discussion? All right, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving this resolution as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 6, resolution number 2025-15, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Speedway, Indiana, authorizing a special purchase of body cameras for the Speedway Police Department grant.
And I do realize I made a mistake. The Vector truck was not on your agenda earlier this month. This item was on your agenda earlier this month. So this is also a special purchase resolution authorizing us to buy a certain type of body camera for the police department. There are many reasons for that. Interoperability with Marion County is a big one. Our uniforms are made up such that it matches this style of camera, and data retrieval and all of that. There were many reasons why getting it from this provider, utility, was the right answer. The total amount is in the amount of $340,000, basically 5 payments over a 5-year period, and we recommend approval of this. Jake McAtee he's in charge of this program, has done all the research, looked into this, made the recommendation, and worked with Ted to get this special resolution approved for the council's consideration.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second.
Any comments, questions, discussion?
I see a substantial discount on here. Grant, do you know where that came from?
They wanted our business fairly badly.
Okay.
So I would say they gave us a very, very good price. I think that's the easiest way I can say it.
Well, thank you to Lieutenant McAtee for his negotiation.
He beat him up pretty good, I think.
Well, this is, as everybody knows, prior law enforcement, Axon has been the kind of gold standard for this area of, technology within law enforcement. So my guess is they're trying to make a name and get in, and which, any police department they can add to a client list probably doesn't hurt. So I will take the discount, though. It's pretty substantial, as you said. Any other comments, discussions, questions?
Grant, how's this going to be rolled out? I mean, they got existing ones right now.
They do.
They switch them all at one time, or is this?
I believe it's for every body camera that we have.
Okay.
Whether they're going to do that by the end of the year, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
Once this is approved, they'll contact them, and then they'll roll that out.
All right, thank you.
And get with Chief if we need to know the specifics on the rollout of it, but I imagine that depending on when this other contract's up with their current provider, I just want to make sure we get able to continue to get access, archive.
100%. Well, our current provider is utility, so.
Oh, okay.
This is a proposal from them to continue the service with new equipment.
Okay, perfect.
That kind of thing.
So none of those other IT issues, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty smoothest transition.
Cool.
Or smooth transition.
Yeah. All right. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 7, resolution number 2025-16, a resolution adopting an ADA transition plan for the town of Speedway. Grant.
So we are required under federal law to adopt this every couple of years because we receive federal funding through the Federal Highway Administration for various projects. Anytime we get funding through the MPO or NDOT through the Community Crossings Matching Grant Program, we are required to have an ADA transition plan which identifies how we handle matters, how we communicate, what we require of contractors when we do different projects, how we fix and make sure everything's ADA accessible or the American Disabilities Act accessible. So this is for September of 2025. Kieser Consulting has put this together for us. They have done, I believe, our last 4 or 5 of these. So I'll answer any questions that you might have. It is a fairly high-level, generic plan, but it meets the requirements of the ADA requirement.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-16.
I'll second it.
Any comments, question, discussion?
So Grant, this is just gives us what we need to update, not updating.
It does not have any capital improvement tied to this. It simply says, if we're going to update things, we have to do it to these standards.
Okay. So it's not identifying.
No, it like grade or allowing for, wheelchairs, those kinds of things, and then how we communicate those types of things when we bid and do projects. It also has like drug use restrictions. There's a whole bunch of aspects to this. Not drug use for us, but contractors and those who build those improvements.
Okay.
So it does not identify, we're going to do these 50 sidewalk, that's not what this is. This is a generic requirement, and we have a capital improvement plan, but it's approved year to year by the council through the budgetary process.
It's real quick, I noticed on page 9 that's highlighted the public meeting date, that'll be, today's date will be inserted
It
there?
will, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion, comments, questions? All right, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving resolution number 2025-16, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 8, approval of a settlement and release agreement regarding the Crawfordsville Road project. Grant.
Yes, so as you remember, we've had 4 or so of these on the agenda over the past 6 months. This is the 5th of 7. We still have 2 parcels owned by the same Brixmore that need to be adjudicated, and that's making progress slowly. This is with Judy Thomas, who owns basically the former Noah's Animal Clinic property there on the south side of Crawfordsville. This is a settlement agreement identifying that we are willing to pay on page 2 under section or letter B, $67,000 for the property, which is half an acre of permanent right-of-way and .009 acres of temporary. There's some other conditions, releases, et cetera, included in this. This has been put together by Adam Dorr with Ted's office. I've appreciated the assistance with this, trying to avoid condemnation because condemnation is a long process. So we've worked this out. We're asking you to approve this tonight. Also, with this approval, I would just like it maybe to be stated that we would like to direct the clerk treasurer's office. I'll create a claim. I was not here last week, so we don't have a claim in the docket. I'd like to have a claim so we can get this paid. We're required, I think, within 30 days. I'd like to just get it out the door and get it wrapped up. So whoever makes the motion, if you want to approve it, just make that statement that we'll ask the clerk treasurer to make payment. We'll provide the claim.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
With the claim, is it, we're giving?
Sorry,
yeah,
yes.
so, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the settlement and release agreement with the settlement, or with the, what's the word?
Authorization.
With the authorization.
And it will appear on a docket probably next month, but this way we can get the check out and get this wrapped up.
I'll approve it. Thank you.
All right. Any comments, questions, discussion on this? Just glad to get another one off the list.
Does this mean that pedestrian walkway will begin once this is settled?
Yeah, I mean,
That's kind of been the holdup.
I think part of it, go ahead, Ted.
We actually got them to agree to an early access
Entry.
agreement too.
Oh, nice.
So we can go ahead and
Get
jump
that
in and get
started.
going. Yep.
So once this is
Okay.
approved tonight, I've already provided that to the contractor. If you haven't noticed, they have not been working on Crawfordsville Road the past 2 weeks. Part of that reasoning was we have had trouble on the north side with the Brixmore, and that's really where they need to work next. So this will allow them to start building that sidewalk going south to connect to the P&E trail and basically Cunningham road area. So, yeah.
Okay.
And they're still on schedule to finish, I think, by the end of November.
Good.
Anything else? All right, if not, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the settlement, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, item 9, ordinance number 1417, and ordinance approving the issuance of and sale of special taxing district bonds by the town for and on behalf of the Park and Recreation District of the town to provide for the financing of certain improvements to park facilities and to declare official intent to reimburse. Our second reading. Philip.
Thank you. So if you approve this ordinance tonight, this will be the last official step that the council has to take for us to move forward with the park bond issuance. So you've had one hearing on this. The Parks Board has had 2 hearings on it. They've passed resolutions. They had a public hearing that was open to the public, hence the name public hearing. And then we are looking to close on December 12th through the Indiana Bond Bank. And then those funds would be in our coffers by the end of the year. We do have Jared Hall from Cronin Associates, who's our financial advisor and has been doing a lot of the work behind the scenes to move us forward on this. If you have questions for him, he's available. As you may recall, when we've discussed this before, the ordinance does allow a fair amount of flexibility, and it tasks me with working with our advisors and our attorneys as we get closer to that closing date to settle on some final numbers. As you see in the news, there's reason to think that interest rates might continue to fall a little bit, so that affects, how much money and we might be able to take out. So we've done not to exceed 2.5 million in the ordinance, and depending on where those interest rates land, and as we're looking at tax rates and things like that, you could foresee a number somewhere between 2 and 2.5 being what we take out. But would appreciate your approval of this, and then, like I said, if you have any questions for Jared, he is available in the audience.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 1417.
I'll second.
Comments, questions, discussion?
No, I'm sure the Parks Department is thrilled. It's been a long time coming, and we definitely need our parks upgraded.
Anything else? All right, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving ordinance number 1417, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 10, a resolution of the Indiana Public Retirement Systems eliminating the employer pickup. Philip.
Thank you. The council may recall, as part of contract negotiations last year spilling into early this year, the fire union elected to reduce the contributions from the town towards, not PERF, but the Indiana Public Retirement System, the 77 fund for the firefighters, in return for higher wages. So we reduced it earlier this year for 2025 down to the 3% pickup, and then this would be to reduce it next year to 0% pickup for them to reflect the terms of the agreement. Would request your approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments, questions, discussion? All right, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 11, approval of release and settlement agreement with Rigdon Construction, Inc. and the Abrams Group, LLC regarding Abrams' work on the Pocket Park. Philip.
Thank you. I am requesting your approval of this agreement. Not going too much into the details here. This was a dispute over the concrete for the Pocket Park on Main Street, and to resolve that, we have sort of preliminarily indicated that we would be willing to provide $5,000 as a settlement amount to the Abrams Group LLC. I would ask for your approval of the agreement, and the Redevelopment Commission has approved the claim subject to your approval of the agreement tonight, so that would be coming out of redevelopment dollars.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments, questions, discussion? Okay, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 12, review and approval of health insurance quotes for 2025. Philip.
Thank you. As the council may recall, just the year before this council started, we made the transition from fully insured to self-insured, and so far I'm happy to report that that seems to have been a wise decision, and one that I hope that the council will continue to invest in. We, through our insurance broker, Brown & Brown, went out to the reinsurance or stop-loss market again. So when you're self-insured, you're not completely uninsured. You just take on the initial dollars up to a certain risk factor. Pleased to report that we have a quote back that I'm recommending for your approval tonight with the same administrator, so it'll still be Anthem. So from the employee side, it'll still be the Anthem card that they're used to, and we would even be sticking with the same stop-loss carrier this time, which the employees don't see much difference on which way we go with that or not, but it will make hopefully for a smooth process this year. The headline here is that if we do that, we will not have to raise the employees' side of the premium. There is an overall increase in cost, but that's going to fall within what we budgeted to be able to handle. And so the employee will not see an increase to their premiums. It'll still be an Anthem card again next year. One change that they will see to their plan is that the deductible goes up to $3,400 from $3,300 for a single individual. But that's outside of our control. That's federally mandated through the Affordable Care Act. And so with the exception of that one change, they should hopefully not see any disruption. The motion that I'm hoping that you all will pass tonight, if you can include there the flexibility for me to crunch the numbers further this week, and I think that the funding from the town is going to fall somewhere between like a 3% and a 5% increase, which again is what we budgeted for 5% or more in some departments' cases. So happy to try to answer any other questions you all might have, but overall good news. And then dental and vision is going to be a rate hold, so it should be very similar to what the employees expected from last year's.
So real quick, so would a phrasing of not to exceed 5% work, or?
Yeah, so if you will approve the renewal quote with Anthem and Veris, and then allow me to determine the funding not to exceed 5%, that would be very helpful.
Okay.
Not to exceed 5% increase. So
I'll make a motion to approve our renewal with Anthem Veris with the stipulation that Philip will determine, I guess, financial details not to exceed 5%.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Any comments, questions, discussion?
No, it's great news for our employees that, they're not going to experience any increases this year. And Philip, thank you for all the work you've put into to this. I know that's a lot. This is a big lift. So thank you for getting us to this point. And like I said, great news. Really happy that we can provide that to the employees for the same cost.
And I will add the savings that we are seeing in that reserve would go to Anthem or another insurer. Instead, the town gets the benefit of having that reserve. Should we have a bad year, something, market tanks or whatever, that, it just puts us in a better position. And again, we're not just giving, Anthem or whomever that extra money.
The only other comment I will add, if you'll indulge me, is a lot of our rate increases, there are some industry-wide increases that we can't avoid. The part that we can avoid is the way that our employees use their health care for their own health, and how they choose their services. We have really taken a concerted effort over the past 3 or 4 years to inform our employees so that they do make wise choices. We have a high deductible health plan, so when you're spending that money, you're spending it from their pocket, if that makes sense. So that has factored into this, but also the fact that we're no longer paying a full premium, fully insured health insurance where Anthem would have just cashed a check. We're now paying for the claims. We have an administrative fee, but ultimately there's a lot of factors that go into that, and I think Nikki and Philip and we've worked on trying to improve the health of our overall, and we are generally a pretty healthy group, to be honest. So I think those are things we're going to continue. You did approve this year some extra dollars for health incentives. We're working on rolling that out in January, and look forward to see where hopefully this trend can continue.
Yep. Any other comments, discussion? All right. If not, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the renewal of the health insurance quotes with the flexibility for Philip to crunch the numbers and not to exceed 5%, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, we'll take our detour now here, give Philip a little bit of a break, but add in our new agenda item, the closing of Meadowood Drive on October 31st from 5 to 9 due to the 25th Street construction. And I'll turn that over to Grant. That's okay.
Yes, so we are asking the council to approve no parking only on the north side of Meadowood Drive from Lyndhurst to Parkwood from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on this Friday, October 31st, which is Halloween. Trick or treat, I believe, is from 6 to 8. That gives us a little bit of time in case kids start a little early, so that we just don't want those cars on the north side of the road with the added traffic to be parked there, because, as you know, kids will run out in between, particularly on a night like Halloween. So we'll get signs up. If you approve this, we'll get signs up probably tomorrow notifying people that, hey, you can't park here on Friday. We probably will not tow people. I think that was asked by the council on an email, but we expect that people will follow that. The signs are, you can't miss the signs, so that's all I have to present on that.
I'll make the motion for approval.
I'll second.
I know we had a discussion, Ted and I, a little bit. I don't know if this is the answer. We briefly discussed closing that road, Grant. I don't know what would be the safest option for that road. Is congested on a trick-or-treating night specifically. Now we have people already overusing that road, and now we have kids running through the street. Mm-hmm. I don't know the answer, but I don't know if this is the answer. I don't know if closing that road is the answer. I don't know, but I feel like it's worth a discussion.
Yeah, and if we do go the route of, the no parking on the one side of the road, in addition to that, could we still, request from Chief Upchurch that maybe we have a few police officers, around that area to help with just trying to get people to slow down? Because you're right, with the construction, the increase in traffic down that road has already been, pretty substantial. Halloween around the Meadowwood area is a huge time when folks are driving down, dropping kids off, going door to door, and just really want to make sure that the kids are safe. So I don't know if we want to have a little bit of discussion on exactly what might be the best route there. Maybe it's a combination of things. I don't know.
I think for me, it's, you want to balance the safety element with also providing residents access. We're already, there's severe restrictions on 25th Street because of the construction. We still want people to be able to get around, get to their houses. But again, there's the safety element too. So that was one of the things I had agreed with you. I don't know if restricting parking is the right answer or not. I don't know. I like the idea of having an officer there if we can too. It seems like we need to have an officer over in the parks area anyway. But I'm not sure what the right answer is.
So I guess my thought is, or at least as I'm thinking about this, what are we trying to accomplish by, doing the no parking? Because it's not going to stop the flow of traffic, which is, to me, the main concern is, people, having over congested. So what is the actual relief of no parking?
I
That's
think
what I'm trying to wrap my head around.
That's a fair question. I think the way that I would think about it is that you've got kids that are darting across the street to try to get to, the next house right across the street, and if they're going between cars that are parked there, they might not be visible to traffic coming through.
You'll see them a little bit easier.
Yeah, that was my thought on why, that might make sense to limit parking through there. In addition to seeing if we could have some extra presence from police.
What I've seen in the past is that a lot of parents drop their kids off at the end of the street or the beginning of the street, and then they kind of follow them along with their car. If we have parking on both sides, it makes it very difficult for them to follow their kids along and to pick them up at the end of the street. I think this will just allow a little bit more room for them to stay with their kids, and also if we have a police officer there that keep the cars moving, from that standpoint, and so that it be as safe as possible.
So we're thinking maybe no parking with requests for an additional officer specifically for those 2 hours in that area.
I mean, I think regardless if this is approved or not, we should have the extra officers there, but is this going to cause, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, because I don't have my mind made up one way or another, but are we going to cause more issues by doing the no parking than we're trying to fix? I don't know. And then are we actually going to solve, or at least, get the intent out of, providing that extra safety by it's there? Because I'm thinking about Winton or some of the other areas where it's, very busy during that time of year with cars on both sides. Would it make a difference on some of the other streets if we were doing? I know this is a little bit of a special case because 25th Street's closed, but just, again, trying to wrap my head around the whole thing.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out how, if you have parking on both sides, you have 2 lanes now trying to get through, so you're trying to get 4 wide on that street. The frustration that's going to come from that too. I kind of see some of that happening where you can't get 4 cars wide. So what's going to happen when everyone's jammed trying to get past and kids are running?
Yeah.
It's just going to be chaotic.
Yeah.
So something has to happen, but.
The parking on both sides could slow the traffic down too. Because people can't,
I think
people
that
can't
is
just
the
get
one
through there.
concern police has. If we do the no parking on the north, it opens the road a little bit.
Yeah.
And people might, and I don't think we can limit or close that road off. It's hard to get around in that area anyway. We've already inconvenienced the residents so much for the past couple of months to close another street for 4 hours. I appreciate the thought. I'm not sure that's going to gain anything.
No, I don't know either, right? I don't
And
know
this
what
may
it
not
is.
be worthwhile, but I felt like it was something we needed to at least discuss.
Yeah, I think the congestion actually may play in the favor of keeping traffic slow. And I think really it's just having the awareness out there and us doing communication about, please, as you're out with your kids, in that area, take extra precautions. We can have the extra officer or officers out there to help kind of with the flow of traffic, so should things get too congested or, cars going too fast one way or the other. But I don't know we're going to solve the issue that we're trying to solve by doing the no parking.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah.
And potentially frustrating, by if folks that live along that street, if they utilize that for their parking, then now we're taking spaces away from them, and so it could cause some unforeseen consequences.
No, I understand that. I think at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is going to be the safety of our kids walking around the community. And so, in my opinion, I think it's a small price to pay for a couple of hours. I know it's inconvenient, but I would much rather have that than, a child run between and not be seen and then get hit. So, I think my vote here would be to go ahead and do the no parking on the one side and then ask the police officers, but to be there, maybe one or two, maybe on each end of the street. But I think that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Well, I don't know, maybe throw this out there too, if there is any issues where, the no parking is causing more more problems than it's solving, then maybe if we can have a, kind of caveat or an out to be able to lift those restrictions, if it's causing more problems, I think maybe a fair compromise.
Well, I think if the police felt like it was causing a problem, I think they would have the authority to lift the no parking without the council saying.
Well, if we have that, to me, I think having that in there, just go ahead and let them make that decision should they find it an issue, I think would be something I'd be okay with doing. I don't want to get into a situation where we're causing more of an issue, give, whomever, the squad sergeant or shift sergeant the ability to make that, game time decision, if you will, should there, be issues. I think that may be a good way to act.
Okay. See what happens. Yeah.
I think I'm going to vote against it for two reasons. One, I do think having cars parked on either side will slow people down. And the second is, we've done this for years and years, decades. We've had cars parked on either side, and I don't see any real reason to change that. But I'm very much on the fence. I think this is a tough, are you trying to slow cars down? Are you trying to increase visibility for the kids? Does it really make that big a deal or impact? I'm not sure. But I feel like having cars parked on either side will slow things down, and then again, I think we've all talked about having an additional officer there to try and make sure things are okay.
I feel like where I'm leaning is just having police presence, leaving the parking alone. I get what you're saying about slowing them down. And just,
Vince, you're usually pretty vocal on these things. Any comments or suggestions or?
I just think that, the police department have to deal with this, and we can make recommendations. Who knows, I live on a street that there's no parking on race events, and I have neighbors that park on both sides of the street, which backs up traffic. They can't get through there, so they'll start backing up because, they're upset that the speed of the cars are a lot more than what we try to limit. And so it's a no-win situation, especially, you have to enforce the speed limit. And if it's not being enforced, tickets aren't being written, then people will travel faster. And they'll also travel faster when they get both lanes open, too. I would hate to have, a kid get hurt, because I know that there's a lot of kids from the apartment complex that they're running back and forth. They're trying to get as much candy as possible. Yeah. You get parents that dump off the kids because we deliver bigger candy bars, I guess, or something. I don't know.
We get a lot of out-of-town folks.
Yes, yeah, they're coming in and they want to take advantage of it. So from that. I would say, in my opinion, it's either way. I just think it's a thing that maybe if we put, signs out there restricting the parking on one side for 4 hours, I think I can live with that.
So just to be clear here, on this, a vote for this is a vote for parking restrictions?
Yes.
And a vote against it is to leave things as they are?
Yep.
Okay.
Any other?
Do we need to do anything to vote for police presence?
No, I think that's just
like an ask.
Yeah, an ask to the chief to get that done. I'm on the fence of either way. It's if you act and something happens, if you don't act and something happens. I think really it's, to me, we need, this is a communication out to parents, to be there with their kids, to take the extra caution. I think having the police presence out there to manage, the traffic should things get either too out of control from a speeding perspective or get too backed up. I don't know. I just don't, again, are we going to create more problems with this?
It's fair. I think the added variable is that 25th Street's closed, so we've got a lot more traffic in addition to all of this coming down, and so, but, okay.
All right. Well, if that is all of the discussion, I will call for a vote. Again, a yay is for the closure, parking restrictions, no parking for those 4 hours. A vote for nay is leave things as is. Just get that on the record. All right. Call the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. It is a 3-2 vote, but the vote does pass. I will just ask, make the statement that, if this does have a problem, whoever from the police department, needs to remove the parking, that they can do it, but. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Approval of claims and utility adjustments. Philip.
Thank you. Hopefully this will still be one motion, but I have made it a little more convoluted this time with multiple reports. So I have utility adjustments for the date range of October 7th through October 23rd. This is for 7 customers, and it's across 3 pages. Then I have claims for October 7th through October 22nd across 13 pages, totaling $5,290,805.64. And I have for the same date range, one ACH claim totaling $2,844.95. This is part of our effort to try to make more vendors receive electronic payment. This is our test run at it. And then I have Anthem claims for the date of October 6th, totaling $5,093.60. So I would request your approval of those claims and utility adjustments.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, town manager report. Grant?
I'm going to say I have no report this evening. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Grant. I hope you had a good vacation.
It was fantastic. Part of the reason I don't want to have a report is, yeah.
All right, council reports. Councilor Gardner.
Yes, just a few things tonight. One, I just wanted to thank Tammy and her work with the trunk or treating event. It's always a great event for the kids, the community. People come out, they decorate their trunks, and I mean, there's a line of people for a solid hour and a half going through. So love to see all the different organizations, businesses that were out, and all the kids in all their costumes. So I love that night. And then she partnered that with a movie on the football field, which was very cool as well. They had the they had hot chocolate and all that with the concessions available to raise money, hopefully for the school as well and the athletics. So that was a wonderful night. So thank you to everyone who helped with that. And then again, just patience. I know there's frustration with 25th Street. The high school closed a road, Crawfordsville Road. People are frustrated, but again, just continued patience because there's such a short window for these projects. And I think we're all going to be so happy come spring when all this is done. So just continued patience. If there is issues, reach out to us, right? Reach out to Grant, any of us. Let us know if there's legitimate issues, concerns happening, because there are. But if it's just frustration, just try to be patient.
And I've received those kind of phone calls. They're not easy.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Yep.
we're working through it, and just thank you for your patience. Or if you haven't been patient, thank you for being patient in the future.
All right. Council Harold.
Yeah, just a couple quick things. Wanted to reiterate what Sarah just said as far as thank you to Tammy and whoever was involved in helping with Trunk or Treat, as well as I'd just love to see the coordination with the schools and the new facilities to be able to utilize that as a town and utilize it for a fun event like a movie out there. So unfortunately, I was at basketball games all evening, so I was not able to attend. I've heard though that it was a great event, and so here's to more of those in the future. Love to see us getting to really take advantage of those great new facilities. So, and then as we've been talking about with Halloween coming up, hope everybody has a great fun evening on Friday evening. Hopefully, please be safe out there crossing the streets. Obviously, we've got some road closures and things like that as we've been discussing. So enjoy it, have a fun night, and I guess that's it for me tonight.
All right, thank you. Councilor Noblett.
I have nothing for tonight. Thank you.
Nothing for me either.
Nothing. And I hope everybody who had a wonderful fall break. I was in very sunny and tepid climate San Diego for the week, which was wonderful. Come back to some very cold weather and spent my Saturday in cold outdoors Kokomo at softball. So I was also, one, not looking forward to spend any more time outdoors, and two, just outdoors watching my daughter play softball, which was fun. But outside of that, have a safe Halloween, and it is 8:05, and I called this meeting adjourned.
Wait a minute, I was told